Last time I'll be talking about the Vmax and RMS for a monophase circuit, basically. So the question before we get into the circuits themselves will be, how can I handle that? How can I calculate things in those circuits? Well, and the main question is, so far I've been using all the sorts of all the kind of tricks like Millman and Thevenin and so on, but basically the very basic stuff was that I've been using Ohm's law. So the question is, starting from the very building blocks will be, can I use Ohm's law for monophase currents and monophase circuits, so using those monophase current? And the answer is yes, you can. But you have to keep in mind about what and think about what we just said, which was then since we have sinusoids and we have phasors, that actually describe the phase, then you gotta keep in mind that you're gonna keep track of the phase, as the phase is important actually. So Ohm's law, I'm just gonna write Ohm's law revisited. Now Ohm's law revisited for AC will be pretty straightforward. Well, for DC, we said that voltage as the first Ohm's law, V equal I times R. Remember the triangle V, I, R. So if I had to cover the V, it was I times R. Now, this was perfectly fine in DC, but in AC, we're going to have that VRMS is equal to IRMS times R. Then what about the third law, which says, is for AC. Let me circle this. Now what about Ohm's third law, which actually says that the power is I squared times R in DC. Whoa, no, just not a DC. Well, for the third law, you can still use it, but in this case, if you just want the power, will be I squared times, well, as I said, I squared times R, which will actually become, well, I'll screw it up, but anyway, which will actually become I max squared times R sine of, well, sine squared, sorry, R sine squared of omega t. But if you want a P average, it will be I RMS squared times R, which I can also write as I max squared R over 2. So yeah, the simple reply to the answer, can I use Ohm's law for AC as well, is yes. But you have to keep in mind that you gotta consider the phase and the phase shift eventually, because you gotta keep in mind that you gotta consider and use phasors. So it's not gonna be as straightforward as in DC, but you can still use it and those work perfectly fine.